So I'll be moving to Studio B to welcome a guest. But before that, this program, your host for today, I'm Queen Hadassah. So let me go to Studio B to welcome our guest. Uncle Sam, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So today we'll be speaking about spirituality.
Yeah.
So please, to begin with, tell us how an individual entered into the spiritual realm.
Oh, thank you, Queen. Yeah, we talking about spirituality and how one can step into the spiritual realm. When we're talking about the spiritual realm, we're talking about a place where we will say it belongs to God.
Okay.
And when we say God, we mean the Holy Spirit that abounds in everything, the Spirit that is all in all. There's no other spirit apart from the Spirit of God. No matter how you call it, the name you give to it, whatever it is only one spirit. And that spirit is the one that has individualized itself in everything. There is spirit in everything, and this spirit is God. Well, we are talking about how do we get closer to God. When we say we are stepping into the spiritual realm, it simply means that we want to get closer to God and also get to know Him. You know, God is like a mountain. And a mountain actually will not move per se in our physical life. When you are closer to the mountain, you see it very, very big, huge. But when you get away from it, then it becomes smaller. So as you get closer to God, you see the magnitude and the mighty of His presence. But when you move away from God, then you see Him as something very small. The further you go away from God, the smaller He becomes. So we are going to learn how to come closer. And as you come closer, so you can enter into His abode and analyze whatever you want to do there and use it specifically for yourself. Now, before one can be closer to God, there are some elements that helps us to enjoy His presence. And these elements is one, the soul. The soul is actually the God within. God within is the soul. And that is what we mostly use to come closer to God. It is not the body that we bring closer to God. It is the soul that we use to come closer to God. So when we say that we are entering the spiritual realm, we are entering the spiritual realm with our soul. And before you can let the soul come closer to God, it needs to be purified. It needs to be sanctified. It needs to be cleansed. Then we have the mind. The mind is also one of the elements by which we come closer to God. In fact, the mind is the vessel in which the soul travels to God. So there are other issues that need attention also about the mind, so that one can journey to the divine world with the soul or by the soul. Then, as you are journeying in the vessel of the mind, the other elements that you also need to look at are your word. The word of mouth is very, very important in the journey, because what you see makes you, and that is what also comes to pass. Then we look at your deed, the actions that you take. That also can bring you closer to God or also take you away from God. So as you journey in the vessel of the mind, you need to be very careful of your words. Actually, this body is not the one that is journeying, but then it plays all the roles that is needed. The next is your thought. Your thought also is very, very important in the journey. So these are the 5 elements, basic elements that we have to look at when you want to make a step into the spiritual realm, the realm of the Divine Father.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Uncle Sam, please, how is the spiritual realm like? Is it a country that one can travel to, or how is it like?
Okay, when we say the spiritual realm, this physical world too is a realm. So it looks the same. But in our physical realm, we have physical things that are solid to us. In fact, as you journey into the other realms, you meet, they have their physicality. That is what, they have something that is physical to them, but to us it is very, very light, and it is not physical. It's a big and vast thing you cannot comprehend. Actually, it's very, very big. You can't talk about it much.
Wow, very, very big. Okay, so how does one say that? Let's say if I say something right now and I don't even know what I've said, how can that take me into the spiritual realm? What are some of the things that I'm supposed to say or I'm not supposed to say?
Okay, thank you, Queen. Yeah, before you take up a journey or before you take up a project, the most important thing is understanding. If you don't understand what you are going to do or you are doing, in fact, you will not be able to do it successfully. So we need knowledge about what we want to do or where we want to go. We said we are stepping into the spiritual realm, and we need understanding, because some people have done a lot of things that has ended them on the rocks, and they intend to make negative statements about spirituality because they made steps when they didn't understand the steps they were taking. They didn't venture into looking for knowledge that will actually help them to enter into the arena of the Divine Father. And they did what maybe they heard or they read in books and they just took to it. But really, if you want to enter into a place or if you want to go to a place, you need to understand. You need knowledge. And actually, you should also understand that there are people there before you are going. Definitely, that place doesn't exist in vacuum. Definitely, there are some entities there, because we are talking about the spiritual realm, so there are entities there. For instance, I'm a Ghanaian. I want to go to Togo. I must have some knowledge about Togo, at least their culture, their do's and their don'ts, so that when I go there, I will be able to function. You need to be able to function at the place that you are going. And if you don't have any knowledge about the place, in fact, it will be very difficult for you to go there and function properly. There are so many ways of going to Togo. I can go through the border through Aflao, or I can walk on the sea shore. I can walk on the seashore to the place. I can also go through other checking points or go through the bush. And as the Bible said, he who does not enter into a place through the door actually is a thief. So if you go through any other place away from the checking point, you are going through the window. You are not going through the door, and that is where you become a thief, and it is not the best thing. So you must find the proper way of entering into Togo. And the main thing is understanding what goes on there and how to step into it and how to move around. If you don't understand, please, I will tell you, if you do it, you have a result that you may not like, and you will begin to say things that you need not say.
Thank Thank you very much. So, how will one know that he or she is in the spiritual realm? You yourself, would you know that you're in the spiritual realm?
Yeah, there are possibilities, and I would say there are so many ways. Let me describe it so. You see, before the white man went to the moon, he knew what was there. Why? Because he has tools that enabled him to view the place without even being there. At the moment, science has been able to develop telescopes and other things that they can see far. In spirituality, we have tools that can assist you even to have knowledge before getting to the place. So you begin to train yourself with these tools in order to be able to get there. But as I said, you need your soul. It is the soul that is going to journey. So the soul becomes your first tool that you are going to use. And this tool, which is the soul, how is it? Is it asleep? Is it functioning? That is where the issue begins. You need to let the soul get up out of sleep. Most of us have our soul sleeping because we have not engaged it, we have not activated it, and it's lying dormant. But the Bible says that the great is he that is in you. So if the great is he that is in me, then why is it that I cannot function as such? And then when we read Genesis, I think chapter 1 verse 26, as when God created, he said, let them have dominion over all things. So we have that dominion. That is, man has dominion. But why is it that we can't exercise it? The dominion that man is having is coming from the God within, because he created us in his own image, and the image in which he created us is his own, and that means that we are God. I think we should understand it that way. And if you don't actually accept something, you can't work with it. So if you don't accept that you are God, or there's God within you, you can't possess that dominion. It is not a physical ability, it's a spiritual ability. So you need to understand that, yes, I am the divine one, because there's a divine presence in me. And therefore, that divine presence is what is having dominion, not our mouth and our body. The body cannot have that dominion. It is the soul that can have that dominion, and it has it. But because it is asleep, or we have not engaged it in anything, that is why we cannot exercise what we are supposed to exercise.
Thank you very much. Listeners, you are listening to IKFM online radio, and the program we are having is on spirituality with Uncle Sam, our guest. You can contact us if you need any question on our studio line on 0209 525 107. 0209 525 107. You can contact Uncle Sam's personal line, but not now when we close, on 0244 622 710. If you need more clarification, you can call this line. Alright, Uncle Sam, please, how do we made mention of cleansing ourselves before we enter into the spiritual realm. So how do we cleanse ourselves?
Okay, thank you. As I said, we are not entering the spiritual realm with our body. But this body, we wash day and night. Some people bath even 3-4 times a day, cleansing the body. But what have we done for the soul? We need to cleanse the soul. And there are various forms. Christians use baptism, symbolic for cleansing the soul. Yes, you clean the body, symbolic for cleansing the soul. The act has to be backed by spiritual exercise. Then it becomes an act for the soul. Definitely, you cannot see the soul and bath it. So you need an activity in the physical realm that will actually compensate or be a symbolic for the spiritual activity. So when we say cleanse your soul, we are talking about activities that will really be symbolic for the soul. And these ones help the soul to wake up, because the soul might have accumulated so much debt that it does not actually wake up well. Now, when we say cleansing, there are so many materials that people use to cleanse themselves. Some go to the riverside and wash, symbolic. They have their own, I would say, rituals or their own prayers or whatever they do in order to get themselves cleansed. Some go to wash themselves in the sea, a whole lot. But if you are at home, you can also cleanse your soul by cleaning your body or cleansing your body with sea salt. However, just getting sea salt and saying I'm going to cleanse myself may not be a good thing. You need to have salt that has been consecrated. We have some churches that have the salt, so you can ask your pastor to get you one. If your pastor does not know how to consecrate the salt, he might ask other people who know how to do it. So if you get a pastor who knows how to consecrate a salt, actually consecrating the salt means activating the salt so that it will do its spiritual work. And here, let me talk about something here. Everything that God created is dormant. They lie low until you push them spiritually, they will not work. So you will have to tell the spirit, salt is also a spirit, you have to tell the salt what you want it to do before you wash. So you are going to use salt to wash, symbolic of cleansing the soul. The salt must know, otherwise when you wash, it will only wash the body. It will not wash the soul. And that is why we have consecrated salt. It purifies and it sanctifies. If you want to prepare, you can do it. You can contact me. I'll show you how to prepare consecrated salt. Then you can use it. Besides the salt, we have other stones like crystals, diamond, and other things. People use them, but I'm not going to teach those things here. I would only talk about salt and then herbs. We have herbs also can help you to cleanse yourself. When you read the Bible, I think Psalm 51, David talks about hyssop. That is a cleansing herb that you can use to cleanse yourself. But in cleansing yourself also, that one also needs to be activated. If you just go for hyssop and think that you are going to cleanse yourself with it, just washing, you will not succeed. You need to activate it. What you should understand now is that we are doing spiritual work. And since it is spiritual work, we must go according to how spiritually we can activate and let things work. Everything can work for you, provided you know how to communicate with it.
Okay, thank you very much. So can you list some of the herbs that we use for cleansing, or is just any herb at all, then you just activate it and then use it?
Well, thank you. Not just any herb. Not just any herb. We have some herbs that helps in cleansing. You can join some. There are some of them you cannot join them. Yeah. Where you see, there are some herbs you can combine physically for something. But when you come into the spiritual world, or you want to use it for spiritual purpose, and you activate them, bringing them together is a war. When you have not activated them, they will not fight. But if you activate them and you bring them together, there will be a serious problem for you. So you can't just go for any herb and activate them and say you want to work with them. But there are some herbs that when you activate them together, we will not have a problem. And one is the hyssop. We in Akan, I'll call the names in Akan. We call it ejra. Ejra. So when you get ejra, you can activate it and then use it to wash yourself, symbolic for cleansing the soul. You can add akokomesa, that is a basil. You can add it, and also it will help you. That one, you won't have any conflict if you activate it. And then you can add this thing, buekru, that's king of herbs. You can add buekru to it. Some call it aduekru or so. I think the Kwus call it yakankan also. So you can join these three and then activate them and use it to cleanse yourself. Now, when we say cleansing, what actually do we do that makes it to be cleansing? When you want to cleanse yourself with any liquid, please, you don't add soap. You don't use sponge. You just throw the water on your body gradually. You do it gradually, and then maybe you should spend about 2 to 3 minutes pouring the water on you. And as you are doing it, you meditate over your purpose. So if you are consecrating the soul, as you are washing your body, you continue to meditate and over the situation, what you want to do. And then when you finish, you don't have to clean yourself. You have to air dry yourself. Just sit down for yourself to be dried. After that, you can do whatever you like. If you want to go and bath again, you can do it. Whatever you want to do. So in cleansing yourself, you meditate over the liquid. First, you have to pray over the liquid. When you have finished, pray over it, take it to the bathroom, wash yourself without soap and without sponge. And you do it for at least 7 days. These are the numbers that you can use when you want to do it in this. You can do it 3 days, but 3 days for cleansing the soul in this way is too small. 7 is okay. You can do it 7. You can do 14. You can do 21. You can do 28. And then the next one is 40. After 28, you don't go to 35. Maybe somebody will think that because it's 777. But it is 3. These are the spiritual numbers that you have to use. It is 3, 7, 14, 21 days, 28 days, or 40 days. 40 should be the maximum. Okay. After 40 days, you are okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Listeners and our cherished viewers, this is very interesting and educating. So we would like you to join us each and every Thursday on Nike FM online radio to have this education with us. I'm reminded that this is Nike FM online radio, and the program you're having is on spirituality with our guest, Uncle Sam. You can contact his personal line for more information on 0244 622 710. 0244 622 710. So, Uncle Sam, please, we would like you to wrap up everything, then your final word, so we end it for today.
Okay, thank you, Queen. Yeah, as I said, we are going to learn how to journey ourselves into the spiritual realm. And one, we need understanding so that we get to know what we are doing and not just to do anything that will later on have a negative impact on us. And when we want to journey into the spiritual realm, we are journeying with our soul in a vessel of the mind. And with 3 attributes: our word, our deeds, and our thoughts. The most important thing is that as the soul is going to journey, it needs to be cleansed, purified, and at least let it arise in order to perform its journey. Because if it is asleep, it cannot move.
Wow. Thank you very much. Listen, I guess you've learned a lot from Uncle Sam on spirituality.